I am getting a little creative today and I am gonna make a wreath. So I started with just a wire. I took some, or a wire wreath. I took some of this 4-inch burlap and just kind of wrapped it around and just wired it at secure points to make this a little more thicker, so it'd be easier to wire the stems onto that after it. So I've got some dried salal here. Got some nice brown colors mixed in with some pretty burgundy-ish colors. I've got some dried eucalyptus that's tinted yellow. It's got a really pretty color to it. I have some roses here that are like an orangey peach color. Got some statice, I think it was an apricot color. And then I was gonna add in some white statice too. I've got this one single hydrangea that I want to try to use in it as well. So we'll see what happens. It's been a minute since I've made a dried wreath, so we'll see how I can hop back into it. So most of this stuff I dried a while ago and then I had to pack it up when we moved. So some of it lost a couple little pieces. But I just kind of make a little bunch on how I want it to look to start out. Let's see, where's my nippers? So here's my little bunch. Maybe I'll make that rose a little higher. Clip it off. Look at my wreath, find a place where I kind of want to start it. Just lay it flat on there. I've got some gold wire here on a spool. I can't remember if I got this from Hobby Lobby or if I ordered it in. And then since this is the start of the wreath, I'm gonna get this wire situated in here pretty good. Secure it nice and tight. Wreaths are really fun to make. They're just a little time consuming. And stuff like that's gonna break off of it a little bit. And you can maneuver it around just a little bit. So there, I've got my first start going on here. And I'm just gonna go through and see what I like and pop it in there. Most of the time I just kind of willy-nilly it. So there's my start. Okay, so I'm probably about halfway done so far. With this guy, since the statice is so delicate, I've been wrapping it a little looser as I go around and adding this stuff into. I already had to grab a little bit more salal. I always think I'm not going to use as much as I do, and then I start making it and have to keep grabbing more. So like I said, I'm just kind of putting them together to what I think looks nice. And then I just take it, I lay it down on the wreath. And then this one, I'm just wrapping it quite a bit looser, which gives it a nicer look too. See how there's more kind of going this way and that way and this way. So when I started down here, everything was wrapped really tight, so you can see everything's kind of shooting off that way. And then as I went looser, it allowed it to go out a little bit farther. And I don't think, no, I think by the time I get to the end, it'll still look pretty good. A nice lady donated this salal for me to use, and I haven't. This is the first time that I've actually gotten to use it. Well, I take that back. I did a wedding fair over the weekend, and I was a little short on greenery, so I used the dried salal to make one of my arrangements, just to kind of pop in that fall color, and it turned out really nice. And it'll last forever because it's dried. So as I'm going around, there are a couple of holes where you can see the wire. I go back through with a hot glue gun, and then I just fill in those little holes. I'll just you know, glue on heads of flowers and stuff to fill them in. So it's not 100% going through without using other products. I like to try to keep it all with the natural elements, but gotta do what you gotta do, I suppose. So lay that there. I think I'll pop another rose in here. And most of the flowers that I'm using, they either started going bad like really fast in my cooler, like this Status, it's super gorgeous, but it likes to mold really quickly, and then the ends will just like start shattering and falling off. And so before it gets like completely horrible and bad, I pull it out and I dry it to use it like this. And so it's nice to try to recoup some of the losses that I had with my flowers dying off in the cooler by making these dried arrangements. And then same with the roses. I overestimated how many roses I was going to use this year for Valentine's Day. And so, because I ended up not using a ton of roses, I used other flowers. And so I had tons and tons of roses. I think I had like 200 roses left over that I couldn't use. And so I donated some to the, what is it called? I don't want to say the old folks home. I donated some to a couple different old folks homes in Laurel and Billings and stuff, just, you know, long stemmed roses. And then the rest of them, I just hung dried them and then using them for here. So it was a good learning curve on what not to do next year for Valentine's Day, or this coming year for Valentine's Day. I'll stick to my pretty stuff and not get so many roses. But this year I think Valentine's Day is on a Saturday, so it'll be a little tricky. Sometimes people will order, you know, flowers still to be delivered on that Friday before Valentine's Day so they can still get them at work. Or sometimes people just don't order flowers in general, you know, and they'll go out for the weekend or go out for dinner. And so it's like it's a tricky holiday when it falls on a weekend. So we'll see. Shoot for the moon and see where we land, I suppose. That's what I like to do, go big or go home. So I have to find ways to make myself laugh because I work by myself most days, and so I'm my primary form of entertainment. And sometimes I can be super entertaining. Okay, I've got to go grab some more of these roses here because I've used them all. All right, this should get me through the end, I think. They're so pretty. It's really cool when you have flowers and then they dry like a completely different color. Like a red rose, it dries like so dark and it's just gorgeous and I love it. And so these, I don't even know what the original color of these guys were. Doesn't that look pretty? Just together like that, like plopped in a vase. It's looking pretty all hooked in a wreath, that's for sure. I have a hard time when I make something to not like want to keep it for myself. It's a fault of mine, I suppose. Like, oh my god, I love it, I want it. It's like, nope. Gotta make money, Ashley. Can't have it all. And so that eucalyptus that I got, I found that at Hobby Lobby. That place, I tell you, it'll get you in trouble some days. I have to prepare myself before I go in. It makes it even harder when I go in there with the kids because they love crafts and I have a hard time saying no to them. But time it's my bank account that's telling them no. And with Christmas time coming, you know, they'll get lots of stuff for that. All right, I'll put in this piece here and then I'll hold it up again for everybody to see it, since I guess you can't really. All right, so here's where we're at so far. I've just got this tiny little stretch from here to here to do. And I've got some spray that I spray on it that helps the stuff from breaking down. And then this is what the back looks like. You can see where I have that burlap where it gives you something to hook onto. And then, let's see, this is the spray. So it's a dried floral preservative. I know it's backwards, but so after I'm all done, I'll spray it with this stuff. And it enhances the color a little bit too. Of it, and I think you can use that, like say if you already have like dried floral hanging on your wall and it's getting like a little dingy and a little dusty, I think if you spray that on, it'll make it less noticeable, the dust and stuff less notable. I'm running out of Salal again. I'm probably gonna have to grab another bunch. Well, I'll finish this up and then I'll give you guys the last showing. Okay, here it's all done. It was like not tall enough right here, so I glued in this little guy. And then you can see from the back that there's a little bit of a gap right here. And that's where I started right there and I ended right there, or vice versa, whatever. But anyway, I have a hard time getting into this like last final spot without breaking a bunch of the product. And so I'm just gonna fill it in. I'm gonna start by filling it in from the back and then work my way towards the front where I'm gonna fill it in here. So I've just got my hot glue gun, put a little bit there, and I stick that guy in, get like a little bit, ouch, oh man, you see that? It's stuck in my finger. It's all right. Okay, so there's a little bit of fill-in right there. So see, you can still see like a little bit of space going in there. It wants to stick to me. So now I'm just gonna lay it flat here. I really don't have a whole lot left over, so I grabbed that extra bunch. I've only got one rose left. And then I used all of the pretty colored status, and I've only got a little bit of white left in that big bunch that I grabbed. So I'm just kind of grabbing little pieces. I'm gonna trim them down and then just put a little bit of glue in there and make it go in the direction that I made it. And then just glue these little pieces in here to cover up the wire. I got a phone call, hold on. It was a gal that was looking for yellow spray roses. And I had a few stems, but she needed more, so we'll see. Okay, here's another piece. I think I'm just gonna kind of fill in with this because I wasn't very liberal with this stuff. I'm getting my air ducts clean today. So I've got a gentleman worker here, whoops. Let's see, yeah, we'll just put that one there. I'm not much of a perfectionist type of person, which has served me well, because I think if I was, making something like this would drive me crazy. I used to be more of a perfectionist, but then I had kids, and that changes things a lot because they just destroy and everything else. So I'm just kind of like, I just fly by the seat of my pants now. Kids will do that to you. Can't plan a whole lot because they will surprise you every day. This one piece here doesn't want to stick. And the stuff is so delicate that, ouch, it got me again. These little buggers are poking. Okay. maybe one more thing right here. Don't want to do that. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna go in with this guy on this one. And I think if I peel back, yeah, I think that'll be perfect. Let's see. Just get a big glob. I'm gonna wrap that in there. See, where my thumb's at, that's where I'm trying to stick it in. And to keep all that stuff on there. All right, I think this is the finished product. What do you think? I think it looks really pretty. Oh, let's see if I can get a little close up here. Like, look at that. Beautiful. Thanks for watching. Oops. Bye.